All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Shalawam. This GMS precepts and Zar Chud here, and I got this scripture here. I don't really have I have an idea what I want to go into this scripture here. I got precepts in my head, but I'm gonna just go in the spirit. And this is in Peter's fifth chapter about Satan. And this is meant to be like a faith booster. Lord willing, you brothers just watch this will have your faith boosted because at the times that we're living in now, there's something that we're gonna need. We're gonna need that boost of faith because of what's going down now and what's gonna go down in the near future. If you're watching and you're praying, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of things are happening, but we have to be vigilant, man, because Satan is vigilant also. Okay, and the scripture goes into that, right? So this is First Peter's 5:8. It says, "Be sober, right? Be sober, be vigilant." Right, and this is said to us. This is said meaning the us, meaning elect. We're willing. I'm part of that number. This is something that's reminded of what is expected of the elect. Right, the ones that follow Yahawashi, in the spirit. We have to be vigilant, man. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go into that word. Let's go with eat it. Vigilant. Okay, to watch. You see, to watch. Metaphor, give strict attention to, be cautious, active. We got to be active, right? To take heed, lest through remission and indolence some destructive calamity suddenly overtake one, right? And that's something that's the result of somebody that's not vigilant, that's not active, that's not cautious. That's why it says in Ephesians, what is it Ephesians when it says be circumspect? I'll get that as well, right? But we have to give strict attention to, and what's that? Prophecy. Okay, we got to give strict attention to prophecy, not strict attention to your woman, not strict attention to your 9 to 5 job, not strict attention to your wheels, you know, or on your car or whatever, not strict attention to worldly things. We have to give strict attention to prophecy because on your number one priority should be the return of the Lord, the return of Yahawashi, man. All right, and we in giving attention to Yahawashi, we have to give attention to prophecy. We have to give attention to what's in the scriptures, man. All right, so we have to constantly. It tells you that in Second Ezra the 9th chapter, we have to be vigilant or vigilant. I mixed two words. We have to be diligent in prophecy, man. We have to constantly seek after prophecy because that's what's going to let us know or inform us of when the Lord's returning. Right? So we have to constantly watch the news and link it to prophecy. You see? That's why it says in Ezra's. Matter of fact, let me get that. And I'll come back to this definition. Is this it? No. Let me go. Let me get that real quick. And somebody, that's the wrong one. Let me go here. And let me go to Second Ezra. This is something I always go into. Excuse me. Second Ezra is the 9th chapter. 9 and 1. Right? Because it's relevant right now, right? So this is Second Ezra 9 and 1. It said, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself." And measuring the time diligently is seeking after prophecy. Okay? Seeking after prophecy and constantly watching the news and linking it to what's going on. Now you might see a situation or something in the news and try to link it to a current prophecy, and it might not be prophecy. Okay? But still, constantly seek after prophecy. That doesn't mean you stop after that. You know? That doesn't mean your faith shouldn't be your faith shouldn't be swayed in any way, right? Because if you truly believe these words, these prophecies, and I do, I truly believe these things that say that are going to take place are going to happen. Okay, why? Because the prophecies are speaking now. All these things that were said, that we've been speaking about, me personally speaking about since I, knew of it. A lot of things came to pass, man. And right now we're at the point now where we're already in World War III. That's brewing. You got the armies of the world. They're gathering in that land, in that one place, the land of Jehoshaphat. Right? To me, it's clear as day. Okay? To me, it's clear. You got the only thing that really has to take place is once you see that chip. Now that the MOTB is here, the technology is here. They're starting to get they're starting to create, or they created legislation to to use that technology now. Right? You have Trump with damn those two. This is one. It's one data mining site, or there's one data mining site. I forgot the name of it. It starts with a P, and then he has the cashless monetary system. Right. So we're right on the brink of the MOTB, man. We're right on the brink. You got chaos throughout the world. So it's a lot of things happening, man. Right? But you wouldn't know that if you're not measuring the time diligently. And that's what we got to do. It says, He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's a fact. You see? We're approaching a time where the Lord, right? Because that's the whole thing. If you're a follower of Yahawashi, okay, you got to be, your number one concern should be when he's going to return. Because the return of Yahawashi is this, you can argue that's the single biggest event in prophecy. Not only in prophecy, but in the whole Bible. The return of the Lord. The second time. The return of the Lord. Right? Because a lot of things are going to take place. It tells you in Jeremiah 16 chapter that the former Egypt is the new deliverance will be grander, more grandiose than the prior deliverance from Egypt. Right? So that's a big deal. That's a big thing. We're approaching a big time in history, an important event. Right? But before that event, a lot of bad things have to happen, and this is what's told to us. So this is how we know what time we're living in. Right? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay? All right, so let me go back to where I'm at. Let me go back to Peter's, this definition, right? This is for, what is this? This is for, I believe it's diligent, right? It says, be sober, be vigilant. Right. Yeah. Be sober, be vigilant. This is definition for vigilant. And it says to watch, to give strict attention to be cautious, active. Okay? And that's what we got to do concerning prophecy. We have to give strict attention to prophecy, man. To world events. All those things. We got to continue and watch for that, man, because those are going to be our signs of when the Lord is going to return, right? So it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay? So that's what we got to watch out for, man. We gotta watch it. So Satan can't catch us slipping, spiritual demon or the Edomite demon. You see. But this fight now that we have is a spiritual fight, man. That's why it tells you it says endure a good fight, man. Right? It says damn, what's that scripture? Fight the good fight. Excuse me. Fight the good fight of faith. This is a thing of to be able to uh, continue to hold on to your faith is a thing of contention, man. This whole thing of ours is a thing of it's a constant fight, and it's more so a spiritual fight. That's why it says we fight powers and principalities. What's that? And I'll get that in a minute. I'll get that next. That's it says that in Ephesians. Our thing of ours is a spiritual fight, man. Right? Because the elected go through things that the 2/3 don't go through. You see? But this is just to refine us, just like what's that? Is that Zechariah or Zephaniah? This is the 1/3 have to go through this because it's a refine. We're being refined by Yahawashi Yahawashi. Right? This is a thing of making us stronger. Okay? So we got to continue we got to just continue in this, man. It's easy. Just if you want to this whole thing is just going to separate the elect from the non-elect. And some of the non-elect were called into this thing of ours. You see? Lord willing, I'm part of the elect. You know? Lord willing, I'm part of the elect. But if you think about it and if you want to make it simple, if you want to be the elect, which you technically you can't make yourself the elect, but just do what the elect would do. The elect would be the elect would be diligent. The elect would be sober and vigilant. The elect would just not the elect will just continue, man. Continue to the end. No matter what we just got to keep going. No matter what atrocity or hardship you might go through, we just got to keep going. So it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay, and it takes a thing of faith. That's why we have to, if if you're feeling at a low point, what do you have to do? You have to seek it from the. And this is why this thing you can't. It's not a thing of boasting. You can't boast about this, man. Right? Because and we're in the spirit. It's the spirit. We're going over this at camp. Faith is a thing you can't boast about because it's something given to you by the Most High. You see, you can memorize 1,000 scriptures, know all the breakdowns, keep the laws, know every Sabbath day. But if you don't have that faith, what is all that? It's nothing. This thing of ours is this thing on this side right now is about faith, man. So Satan is as a wrong lion. What is he doing? He's seeking any brothers that might get weak in the faith. And we do at times. We do get weak in the faith. That's why it's good to be around the brotherhood, man. That's why it's good to study. It's good to read. It's good to fast. Feed your spiritual side. Whenever I'm around brothers, it's like a spiritual boost. So if you think about it, we got the advantage, man, because we have, although this fight of ours is a singulatory fight, we still gain energy from being around like-minded people, like-minded brothers, man. We get that spiritual boost. Where I live, I can only see brothers once a week. So, whenever I see brothers on, at camp day, that spiritual boost will allow me to last through the week. Okay. So I read that again. I'll go to Ephesians next. It says, "Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour." I'll continue. It says, "Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world." You see that? You see, so the things that we go through, it's not only you. All the brothers are going through that, through the same turmoil, man. Even apostles, they're going through it too. Don't think they're excluded. Okay, so that's why I send out prayers not only for the brothers, 144,000, the elect. I send out prayers for the apostles too, because they're the ones that if anything, they get more stronger demons than us, but they're able to withstand that. Right, but don't so it's and sometimes I do this. Sometimes I might be into I might be going through things and I'm like, damn, I'm getting shit, ain't nothing really working out, and then I get around brothers and they going through the same shit. you know they going through the same thing, man. So it's like, damn, all up in I'm all thinking about my own self, but you got brothers that's going through the same shit or even worse. you know, or shit that I know I couldn't deal with, but and then they look at me and they're like, damn, you going through shit I couldn't deal with. So the things that we get are the hell that we go through are specified for us to make us stronger, man. It might be some things that we need the Most High is perfecting in us, man. He sees chinks in the armor, and the Most High is able to fill in those chinks or those gaps that we might be lacking. That's beautiful. It says, "Whom resist steadfast in the faith," right? "Knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world." Beautiful. All right, so let me go get what was it? I think it's Ephesians. I think it's Ephesians. It might be 5, though. I think it's 5. Yeah, it's 5. Or is it 6? Yeah, let me see. I think it's 6. Yeah, 6. 1 second here. Like I said, I'm just going, here it is. Like I said, I ain't have anything written. I'm just going through right here in the spirit. So this is it, the armor of the Most High, right? So it says, this is Ephesians 6. I'll start at 10. It says, Ephesians 6 and 10. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." So you go back to that prior scripture I read. This is how you're able to fight off Satan, man. So when he's seeking you out, he can't touch you. We got to put on the whole. And how do you put on the whole armor of the Most High? You got to be in tune. You got to be constantly in this. Priorities have to be set, and the truth has to be number one. Like I said, you can't worry about anything else, man. Right? Before you, this comes before your family. Put on the whole armor of them, because if you think about it, if you want your family to be protected, who can protect them better than the Most High? The Most High knows what we need before we even ask for it. So it says, Ephesians 6 and 11, "Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in the high places." And that's what I was going into earlier when I said we fight against, we fight against. It's a spiritual fight, man. It's a spiritual fight. It's not a physical fight. the fight that is in that, and a spiritual fight could be all day. It could be, if a spiritual fight don't have to be when you're awake, it could be when you're asleep also. You know, you might have a demonic dream, you know, right? So it's a fight, but but in order to combat that, what do we gotta do? Put on the whole armor of the Most High. I'll read that again. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all, to stand. You see? I think it said that too. Evil day, right? In Peter's. Matter of fact, I still got it. Peter's. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary that of us a ruler walketh about, he see whom he devour, whom is this steadfast. No, okay, he didn't really say it, but same thing. I thought it said it. I thought it had the same word, but same thing. You see, right? So we put on the whole armor so we can withstand that evil day, right? A day where Satan might try to come at us. You see, but once we put on that whole armor, we're able to stand, man. Why? Because we have that faith that was given to us by Yahawashi. All right. So I think, all right. So I'm gonna end it there. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified. Stay strong. Be diligent. You know, constantly seek after scriptures or prophecy. You know, and link it to scriptures. That goes for me as well. And Lord willing, y'all brothers stay up, man. So Lord willing, like I said, y'all brothers and sisters were edified. To the next show, shalawam.